Jai Matara, Jai Ma Kamakhya, Jai Bhairava. This video is a continuation from the video on Pratyangira Devi and the removal of Abhichara and other allied curses. Uh, After that, there have been quite a few questions that have been sent by people, in fact, a whole lot of them. I will pick up a few of those which have come repeatedly, and I will try to answer this in this particular video, so it's helpful to the people who watch those videos, watch my videos, and do the sadhanas that I recommend. I will read out the questions, and then accordingly, I will tell you the answer to the question, so it's easier to understand. So the first set of questions are with respect to the basic requirements of sadhana. The first question is that is a photo of Ma Pratyangira necessary in the sadhana space? No, it is not compulsory. You can keep a photo, but it's perfectly all right if you don't have a photo. If you just have a mental idea of Devi, that is good enough. Number two is again same question. Then is there a statue of Ma Pratyangira to be kept at home? Again, no. My general principle with respect to statues is that when you are keeping a statue of any devata, there are rules to be followed with that statue. There has to be sufficient amount of puja, seva, and investment of time that is required. If you don't have that, then don't just keep your puja room piled with statues which you cannot do seva of. It is better to worship the deity mentally through mantra and simple methods without a statue. It is also just as effective. Even if you don't have the statue, if you chant the mantra, that itself is a good enough practice. So I'm not saying that you should not have a vigraha of any deity, but if you do, you understand the niyama and the rules, and I've talked about it in previous videos, and you understand the responsibility that it entails, and only then you do it. Otherwise, it's better to just do it without having a vigraha of the devata. Better than the vigraha, easier than the vigraha is to keep a photo. Photo requires lesser amount of engagement, lesser amount of sevas. Vigraha requires more sevas. It depends on the material of the vigraha, size of the vigraha, what kind of yantra is placed in the vigraha, various other factors are there. Should we offer naivedyam during the sadhana? You can offer naivedyam, there is no problem. Neither is it compulsory, nor is it something you should avoid. It is totally, entirely, completely up to you. You can provide naivedyam and then have it as prasad. If you are not able to provide naivedyam, that is also fine. Still it will work. Do I need to take a sankalpa with water on the first day? No, there's no need to take a sankalpa. So here, this particular sadhana that I've mentioned, this is a doorway to Pratyangira sadhana. Pratyangira sadhanas have, like any Devi sadhanas or Devata sadhanas, there are many layers of it. As you go deeper in the mantra shastra and the mantra krama and the various practices, it gets more and more intense. But if you are right in the middle of a difficult situation with respect to Abhichara and other things, then you might try this sadhana. No need to take a sankalpa, just do it with the prayer that Ma Pratyangira and Bhairava, they guide you into how to get out of that particular situation, or either they remove that problem or they at least give you a guidance of how it has to be removed. So I do believe that if you do it properly, uh, then within that frame of time or right after that, you will find some guidance, or either the problem itself will reduce, or definitely some of the other guidance will come to you regarding what needs to be done. Because guidance, for the reason that that whenever there is an abhichara, it depends on the intensity of the prayoga that has been done. No two cases are same. So maybe for a case which is slightly lesser in intensity, it can get removed by the sadhana. Maybe there is a case which is much higher and deeper and problematic, that will not go easily with one time sadhana. In that case, by this 48 days, you will get an idea of how things are, whether there's a relief that is coming, whether there is a somebody coming, if your faith is genuine, somebody other that comes who might have the resources to help you. Because avichara is one such thing which it's difficult to help from a distance. It will require, if there are very strong cases, it requires people to physically be present there, whoever is going to remove that prayoga, if there are strong avicharas and all that. But the basic idea is that once you do this sadhana with faith, um, there is some of the other help that can come to you, that can guide you on what next to be done, or it can by itself remove the problem for you, or at least reduce the problem. Then next question is, can the same diya and the cloves and mustards be used for 48 days? So here you might use the same diya, but the cloves and the mustard has to be put fresh every day. Oil has to be put fresh every day. Or if you are keeping an akhanda diya, that is one thing. Akhanda diya, if you are able to keep an akhanda diya 48 days, those who know how to keep, for them you might not add long and mustard seeds every day, but once in a while, after a few days, you can remove some of the long and put some fresh there. You will need something to pick up the long from the oil and then put a fresh long there and a little bit of mustard seeds. But do not overcrowd the oil container or the diya so that it overflows or something. So that judgment has to be done by the upasaka himself or herself. It depends on the kind of diya that you're using, right? So either 48 days akhanda diya if you are able to do it, but it is not compulsory. You can light a diya every day. So every day when you are lighting the diya, then you put fresh cloves and fresh mustard seeds in it. The next set of questions are with respect to the timing and duration. Uh, what is the best time of the day to perform the sadhana? Well, daytime is good time to do the sadhana. Anytime. Even night is also very powerful. Now, if you are already a Bhairava Upasak who has been doing Bhairava Sadhana for 1-2 years at least, then you might do it anywhere between night 8 to 10 within this time frame, not beyond that. Otherwise, doing it during daytime is a very good practice. I mean, over time it will build strength, power, and it will also give you the right guidance, because you are doing it with a specific idea. There is some affliction that is going on, and by the power of this sadhana, there is some relief and benefit that can come to you. It will not come on day one, but you have to complete the whole thing till 48 days when it covers one mandala of the sadhana. So yeah, daytime is good. If you have to do it at night, if you are already a Bhairava Upasak and you want to do it at night, then you might do it between 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Don't go beyond that. So here is another thing. I am assuming that this, as I had mentioned in the previous video, that this sadhana is done in case where there is a kind of difficulty that is already there in so you are already facing the effects of abhichara that has been going on. So you might see, if there is very strong cases of abhichara, when you start the sadhana, initially there will be resistance. You can expect that the forces that the negative energies or the forces that are there may try to stop you from continuing the sadhana or increase troubles. This happens more if you do the sadhana at night. So two things happen when you do the sadhana at night. The intensity of the power you generate is higher, but at the same time the resistance also will be there. However, this is important that you carry on the sadhana without break. If you carry on, then eventually after some days that resistance will come down and the power of the negative forces will start reducing. So do not get disheartened if you suddenly see there is a strong powerful energy that is trying to cause disruptions to the sadhana, because abhichara already is a negative thing, and if it is continuing at the moment in a person, then very likely, and I've seen such cases where the moment the remedial process starts, there is a resistance in the beginning because the negative forces will try to stop you. That is where you will have to use your willpower to, kind of bulldoze through that negative forces until its energy comes down and things become more normal. So that fight has to be there in the upasaka, because this sadhana is specifically to remove negative energies. Okay. Next question is, can this be done alongside the 16 Thursday sadhana of Matara? Yes, definitely you can do it with the 16 Thursday sadhana. 16 Thursday sadhana, as I've also mentioned during I think the discourse that I did in Mumbai, Pashyanti, that in this year that sadhana is very good to do, 16 Thursday sadhana of Matara, and not just once, carry on doing it, because over time she will, by her blessings, rearrange the whole aspect of your life, and blessings and protection will come to you in all aspects of your life. And if there are tricky situations, she is going to ensure that if there is something problematic, that problematic thing is removed or comes to a resolution where whatever karmic backlog is there, you are suffering. See, karma doesn't vanish so easily just by willing it. There is no method, no sadhana, no deity is going to just remove your karmas. But if you keep doing the 16 Thursday sadhana of Matara, she is going to ensure that slowly the pile of karmas that you carry are chipped off, and it becomes more bearable for you, and situation becomes a little bit more pleasant than what it might have been in case you are starting in a very difficult condition. For many people, it will also bring a lot of material resources and benefits. So yes, there's no harm in doing both the sadhanas together. Uh, Next question is with respect to eligibility. A few questions. Can the sadhana be done if during pregnancy? So here is the thing. There are no set rules for this. If somebody is in an advanced stage of pregnancy, it is better to avoid complicated sadhanas. Because these niyamas are very difficult and very different in that condition. Uh, it is generally advised that when somebody is in advanced condition of pregnancy, unless you are a pakka upasak for many years before that, where the energies of the deities have well integrated with your mind and body, then you have to continue a minimum sadhana. Otherwise, it's not advisable to pick up very hard and very difficult sadhanas. This Pratyangira sadhana is not an easy sadhana. What I've given is an easier version of the actual Pratyangira upasanas that can be done. This is an advice I would not recommend for a person for a lady who is carrying at the moment and at an advanced stage of pregnancy to do this sadhana just like that. But you might just light a diya and do pranam to Pratyangira if you want, or any of the other sadhanas for that matter, which require a lot of rigorous japa. So this phase, basically the thing that happens is there has to be a synergy between the karmic destiny of the soul that is carried inside during a pregnancy, as well as the karmic destiny of the mother who is carrying that soul. So that depends. If the soul is not spiritually oriented, and if you do a lot of hard sadhanas, then it can cause certain degree of discomfort. So for women who are pregnant and advanced stages of pregnancy specifically, I would not recommend that they do this sadhana. They can carry on with simpler sadhanas. Whatever sadhanas you had been doing earlier, carry on those uh, for now, is the advice. Next question is, can it be done for family members? So you don't have to specifically do for any family member. You just do the sadhana in your home, and while you are doing the sadhana, you pray to Ma Pratyangira, you pray to Bhairava that he protects the family as such. Again, remember that the more people you include in your prayers, the more karmas you are dealing with. In any case, you are connected to your family very strong karmically. You can't escape that. So there is no harm in praying for relief if everybody is suffering. However, the more number of people that are involved karmically in this and are suffering because of Abhichara and other things, the more amount of resistance you are likely to face, because that volume of negative energy is going to come and try to dislodge you from the sadhana, and that is where you will need a strong willpower to go through it. If you have faith on Bhairava, if you have been doing Bhairava sadhana, or if you have been doing Skandha Upasana that I had mentioned, that brings a terrific willpower in an Upasaka. They are able to plow through any kind of difficulties or even difficult sadhanas. There will be tough times, but you will go through them, and then suddenly you will see that the difficulties will start reducing. This is normally the nature of how these sadhanas progress. So yes, you can pray for your whole family, whoever is resident in that particular location. But this is important, that place is important where you are doing. So you should not be like, I am doing the sadhana, but for some family member who stays far off, then it will not work, because that is assuming that you have that degree of spiritual power and the potency to be able to transfer the sadhana from, the power, the energy that you generate from one place to another. It may or may not work. So that has to be kept in mind. Can I do it specifically for my parents? Definitely you can do for your parents. It is best if you are in the same location. Can it be done to remove family curses? It can be done to remove family curses in the same way that it can be done to remove Abhichara. But remember that when it comes to family curses, one has to first determine what is the originating source of the curse. Is it sometimes there are curses from deities that are not easy to remove, they can be removed, but this sadhana by itself may not be sufficient to fully remove. But at least you'll get guidance on what needs to be done. Because Pratyangira is the form who can destroy curses, but it will require higher levels of sadhana. Now, you cannot directly jump into that level of sadhana. So, you need to build up that power. So, you do this sadhana gives you that blessings, and it allows you to do higher sadhanas, or guidance comes to you on what needs to be done in order to fully remove the effect of the curse, in case there is a curse. So, there is a question: can one travel during uh, the sadhana? It's best for best results, you have to be in the same place. If you travel, the power of the sadhana reduces. You can still do it. I mean, it's better than not doing at all. But obviously, if you do in the same place, then it gets more energy and power. Okay, so next questions are with respect to Graha, Badha and Abhichara. How do you know if an Abhichara has been done? So it is not easy to know Abhichara has been done. First of all, if there are very strong physical signs of Abhichara, which means that you find, I found, I had known of cases at a time when I used to do these kind of cases, but now I don't. So there's no point sending an email to me asking to help out, because I myself will not be doing any prayoga, sadhana, or anything for other people. My focus is entirely for the establishment of Bhairava temples and certain larger dharmic activities, not to solve individual issues of people. There are many others who do that professionally, and otherwise you can approach them. But what I had seen is that if there's a physical evidence of it, physical evidence means, suppose you find some uh, object in your room or your house that arouses suspicion. It could be hair, it could be bones, it could be things like that. Very strong abhicharas are often done using these materials. Or you have a reasonable suspicion that somebody who dabbles in these things or takes the help of somebody else who does abhichara and who has strong negativity towards you. This is very important, because avichara is not done randomly. It's assumed that there is negativity against the person. Then there is a reason to be suspicious. Number two, if you're in your puja room specifically, wherever you're doing puja, if you suddenly find that fire incident happens, something catches fire, perhaps the altar catches fire or something, that is often an indication of a strong negative presence. It could be abhichara, or it could be a very strong anger of an enemy that is coming, or some negativity that is coming. Fire in the puja room is more or less an indication of that, and it happens whenever it happens. Ideally, you should increase your sadhana, increase the kavach recitations of the Devi or Devata whom you are worshipping. That is one indication, but that is not the only thing. Eventually, finality of Abhichara determination happens by judging grahas. And here there are two types of graha analysis that is required. One is the horoscope of the individual on whom the prayoga has been done, and another, a prashna has to confirm that literally normal prashna Jyotish. I'm not talking about complicated prashnas, but whosoever is analyzing and determining must also use the help of Jyotisha to find out if Abhichara has actually happened, because Jyotisha gives a very strong indication. Only then, when all these factors come together, that there are clear signs, there are weird incidences that have happened in the house, including but not limited to fire accidents in the puja space. Normally, that is an indication of the deity. In fact, uh, uh, quite a few instances I had seen where there were fires in the puja space specifically, and uh, if it's just a small fire, like a cloth catches fire and you're able to put it out, then it means also that the whatever is the intensity of the problem, it can also perhaps be reduced. But if the picture of devata catches fire and is burned down, then you may understand as an indication that perhaps whatever force has been deployed for the avichara is stronger than the pujas that you do. So then you will have to, increase the amount of sadhana yourself, or take help from somebody who can help you in these circumstances. But first step is to increase sadhana, definitely with prayer for protection. And yes, the final judgment is, so these factors taken together, along with it, a judgment of the horoscope of the individual and a prashna that has to be done for somebody who is competent enough to do prashnas. And then only you can figure out that there is an abhichara that has happened or not. For people who are interested in Jyotisha, there are very fantastic texts, especially with respect to Kerala Tantram and Kerala Prashna Paddhatis, that tell you how to find out Abhichar related prayogas. Very detailed analysis is possible for those who are competent and those who have interest in these things. So all this converging together tells you that this is an Abhichara. And then accordingly, from the Prashna, why the Prashna is important? Because the Prashna will tell you how you can get out of the Abhichara. That is also equally important. So there are hundreds of deities, various prayogas, various things possible. I mean, many devatas can help you, but you can find out if it is a specific type of, if it is a Shaiva Prayoga that has to be done, if it is a Prayoga with respect to Devi that has to be done, if it is a Vaishnava Prayoga like worship of Narasimha or Sudarshana that needs to be done. So these factors can come in from the analysis of the grahas in the prashna when a prashna is correctly conducted by somebody who has knowledge of these things. Not every person who knows Jyotisha or prashna has the knowledge, so you'll have to find that out. And even the finding out is also part of the remedy to find the right person who can help you in this. In all these factors, regardless of these processes, if you do the sadhana that I have told you in this 48 days, you will find help. It is my absolute belief that Bhairava and Devi Pratyangira are going to provide you the help and the necessary resources in order to fight whatever the difficult situation that you are facing. The question is, do we need Diksha for Pratyangira sadhana? For higher levels of Pratyangira, you will need Diksha. More than Diksha, you will need guidance on how to do it. So, Pratyangira sadhana, what I have given is again the basic step. The real power of Pratyangira actually manifests when doing homas of Pratyangira. There is absolutely nothing that comes close to the power of a Pratyangira Homa when correctly done with the right ingredients. This is very important. There is a specific set of samagris that are required for the Homa, specific type of mantras of Pratyangira that have to be deployed. Then it produces very strong counteracting forces that can stop almost anything. But those homas cannot be done randomly by people until they are well versed in these sadhanas. So this, what I've given, is the first step. Anybody can do it without Diksha. As a thumb rule, whatever sadhana I mentioned in my videos can be done by anybody who is an upasaka. It does not require any specific Diksha. Whatever guidance is required is provided in the video itself. It's provided also under the video in the thread. You will find that there will be question answers that are answered. Along with it, there will be more videos that answer any specific questions. But as a thumb rule, you can do that. If you need higher competence in Pratyangira Upasana, yes, you will need a mentor who can guide you on how to do these sadhanas. And do not be in a hurry. Like everything else, pray to Ma Pratyangira. If she wishes, she will send you somebody competent who can help you. But remember that in spiritual processes and specifically searching for mentors, hurrying things generally leads to wrong steps until one is very thorough in his or her judgment about the mentor, as much as the mentor should test the disciple. Both these things are bypassed in today's time very often, even in large sampradayas, because everybody is in a hurry. But for your own good, it is good to first take things slowly. Let nimittas come, let proper circumstances develop, and only after thorough judgment one is completely satisfied, then only take initiation, diksha, etc. However, till that point, you can keep carrying on whatever basic sadhana of Pratyangira that you have been doing. In case somebody has been worshipping Pratyangira for many years in their own way, there are people like that. They have also mailed that they do certain mantras or stutis of Pratyangira. If you have been doing for a long time, then carry on. You should not stop. But find somebody who can legitimize your process and teach you the higher sadhanas. And in order to find that, you have to ask and pray to Devi Pratyangira herself or any other deity whom you are worshipping, so that if over time they are kind to you and they connect you to somebody who can guide you. I think with that, I will end the video. I hope the sadhana is helpful for everybody. Jai Madara, Jai Ma Kamakhya, Jai Bhairava.